We've got Allyn Walker along with Jacqueline Hamby, both with Dale Carnegie. And Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
Okay, been around for how many years?
106 years as of last week.
It seems like the last couple of years you guys have put a fresh new coat of paint.
Very much so.
You guys have rejuvenated Dale Carnegie and the courses. And so I'm right.
Yes.
I'm right when I say that.
Well, without a doubt. We've been in Chattanooga for 6 decades, but so much effort has been put into research and revitalization, fresh coat of paint, as you mentioned, particularly in the area of engagement.
Yeah, and that's what I want to home in on.
Yeah.
You've been with Dale Carnegie for how many years?
24 years.
24 years. And
6 months.
6 months. We welcomed you aboard 6 months ago here on this, and I remember that. Yeah. So let's talk about this new research that just came out.
Right. So we did a 8-country research study on what engages workers, particularly younger workers, in organizations. Because we hear all the time from our clients, how do we get our younger workforce motivated and engaged and productive? And so we decided to look at that and really determine what are some of those key factors.
Yeah. So what are those key factors?
Before I came on board at Dale Carnegie, I worked for a well-known coffee house as a shift supervisor. And I worked there for 2.5 years, and I was in charge of, the culture of the shift and getting things done. And I used a lot of my Dale Carnegie principles and really making the culture fun and making it a fun environment that people can feel empowered in and like they're part of the process.
Right.
So I would use principles such as do not complain, criticize, or condemn, and really just cutting out the negativity to make us more productive, but also make it a good time as well.
Yeah. You guys are really homing in on the Generation Zers? Is that the, I get mixed up in all these.
They've not quite been defined yet. And that's part of the problem with research is they're just now entering the workforce. And so if you're born 97-ish or so, that's Generation Z.
Yeah.
So we don't know
Generation Z,
we don't know a whole lot about them, but what we do know is exactly what Jacqueline is saying is fun in the workplace is important.
Right.
Being valued by the organization and autonomy. And it really correlates well with, there was a Gallup State of the American Workforce edition 2017, so last year's edition was asking what was keeping people at organizations, and it was those organizations being willing to develop them. So in other words, when companies coach their people, when they create the right culture, when that's a culture of you're valued, that's when people flourish, probably regardless of the age, but particularly if they're younger in the workforce.
And they're receptive to this, aren't they?
Yes, very.
Yeah. So when it comes to signing up for a Dale Carnegie course,
yes.
Is that something that, the companies are doing? Or, are there individualized opportunities for people to get out there and
So we can work with individuals, but we also work with teams and departments within companies. It's really based on what you're wanting to gain out of the course.
Sure.
And we have 4 main courses, so I can sit down with them and we can go through a client information sheet to really understand what it is they're trying to achieve, because we want them to see the most out of themselves in the class and get the most out of the course itself.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
Allyn. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Jacqueline, thank you very much. Keep doing what you're doing. For more information, Dale Carnegie Training of Chattanooga. Call them today if you have any questions, and I'm sure you do. 423-682-0072. DaleCarnegie.com for more info.